She sneered. What's yours is mine. That's the essence of marriage. While maxing out my credit card, I replied, sure. The following day, I shut down all shared accounts and shifted her debt solely into her name. The call from the bank was her reality check. I, a 35-year-old man, have been wed to Fiona, 33, for 5 years. For 4 of those years, I've been funding a lifestyle I don't even enjoy. I work as a database administrator, earning a comfortable income. I appreciate spreadsheets, quiet evenings, and saving for the future. Fiona is a freelance design consultant, which means she has a visually appealing Instagram and occasionally advises her friends on guest room colors. Her income, to put it gently, is hopeful. I've always been the breadwinner, and I accepted that. We had an arrangement. I covered the mortgage on the house I purchased before our marriage, utilities, the car lease for her Lexus NX in my name, and all grocery expenses. I also gave her an authorized user card on my MX Platinum for household costs. This was where I went wrong. Household expenses gradually morphed into $400 lunches. Groceries turned into $90 wine bottles. Then came the handbags, spa days, and weekend consulting trips that cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Every time I tried to discuss it, it ended in argument. Fiona, we need to chat about the MX bill. It was over $6,000 last month. Oh, are you going to spreadsheet me again, Liam? I have to maintain a certain image for my clients. It's called investing in my brand. Your brand is draining my finances. We're saving nothing. You're the provider, Liam. Just provide. Stop being so stingy. It's a bad look. She was skilled at twisting the conversation. But last week she crossed the line. She had become fixated on a pair of vintage Italian lounge chairs. She referred to them as the Vespucci chairs. She discovered them in a trendy antique catalog. The cost? $18,000. I chuckled, but then realized she was serious. Me? No way, Fiona. We are not spending $18,000 on chairs. That's a down payment on a rental property. It's my entire bonus. But they're an investment. They'll appreciate. You simply don't grasp high-end design. I understand perfectly. $18,000. The answer is no. That was on Monday. On Wednesday, during a meeting, my phone vibrated. An alert from AMX. Charge approved. $18,000 at Milano Mono Antiques. My heart sank. I struggled to focus during the rest of the meeting, my heart racing. I returned home. She was in the living room, sipping a $90 bottle of wine. You bought the chairs, I said, and she didn't even look up from her magazine. I did. They'll arrive in a week. They're going to completely change this room. You spent $18,000 after I clearly told you no. Liam, don't be dramatic. It's just money. It's on your card. It's fine. It's my card. It's my money. How can you be so reckless? She finally set the magazine down and gave me that look, that cold, dismissive sneer that always made me feel insignificant. What's yours is mine, Liam. That's what marriage means. You're my husband. Your money is our money. Quit being selfish and controlling. It's just chairs. Just like that, something inside me shattered. That small part of my mind that makes excuses for someone you love snapped. I looked at her in the $300 robe she was wearing in the house I paid for, drinking wine I bought after spending $18,000 of my money without hesitation, and I smiled a calm, quiet smile. You know what, Fiona? You're absolutely right. That's what marriage means. I apologize for being controlling. She seemed surprised, then pleased. Good. I'm glad you finally get it. Now, be a sweetheart and pour me some more wine. My glass is empty. I did. I poured her wine. I kissed her on the forehead. I'm going to work in my office for a bit, babe. Big project. She waved me off. I went into my office and locked the door. Then I got to work. What's yours is mine. Okay. MX Platinum. Logged in. I saw the $18,000 charge. I also saw $1,200 from a boutique called Celine's and $850 from a spa. Total damage in 3 days, $20,050. I didn't cancel her card. That would be too obvious. Instead, I managed authorized users. I lowered her spending limit to the lowest it would go, $200. Set. Effective immediately. Lexus lease. Logged into the leasing account. The car is entirely in my name. The payments come directly from my personal checking account. I couldn't stop the lease, but I could remove the car from my auto insurance policy. I kept the state minimum liability on it. I'm not cruel, but I removed the comprehensive collision and umbrella coverage. The lease requires full coverage, so this would trigger an angry letter from the leasing company to me, which I would then forward to my new lawyer. Household account. This was just my secondary checking account labeled household. She had a debit card for it for groceries. I logged in. I transferred 95% of the balance to a brand new high-yield savings account at a different bank. I left $500 in it. Enough for, well, not much of her kind of groceries. The lawyer. I Googled best divorce lawyer near me and found Miss Thorne, a sharp woman who specializes in high asset dissipation. I sent her an email with the subject line consultation request, dissipation of marital assets, and attached a screenshot of the $18,000 MX charge. I felt nothing, just a cold, calculated efficiency. Fiona went to bed around 11 o'clock. I slept on the guest room couch. The next day, she went out for her regular 1 p.m. lunch with her mother, Brenda. They always go to this ridiculously expensive French restaurant. At 1:45 p.m., my phone rang. It was Fiona. Liam, my card was declined. I put on my most confused tone. What? The MX? No, that can't be right. I just used mine this morning for gas. Well, it was declined. Limit exceeded, it said. How is that possible? It's embarrassing. My mother is here. Limit exceeded? That's unbelievable. Maybe the $18,000 chair purchase triggered a fraud alert. Well, fix it. Call them. I have to pay. I can't right now. I'm in the middle of a server migration. Why don't you use the household debit card? Fine. She hung up. I waited. 3 minutes later, she called back, her voice trembling with anger. Liam, the debit card was declined. $250. It said, insufficient funds. What did you do? Insufficient funds? Wow, that's alarming. I'll have to check the statements. Someone must have stolen the card info. Don't worry, Fiona. I'll secure everything. We can't be too cautious. My mother had to cover it. My mother. You've humiliated me. I'm just safeguarding our assets, honey. Like you said, what's mine is yours, and I have to protect ours. I hung up. Miss Thorne's office emailed me back 10 minutes later. Miss Thorne can see you at 4 p.m. today. Fiona returned home while I was on a Zoom call with Miss Thorne in my locked office. I could hear her banging on the door. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow morning. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks. Hell doesn't begin to describe it, but I'm not the one getting burned. I'll start with the lawyer meeting. Miss Thorne was a shark in a cashmere sweater. So, because she's an authorized user, that $20,050 debt is mine, right? Yes and no. It's on your card. You're liable to AMX. But in a divorce, that $20,050 is a classic example of dissipation of marital assets. She purchased it out of spite after you said no. We're going to argue that debt is hers and we'll win. She told me to file immediately. The separation date is a crucial line in the sand. Any debt she incurs after being served is entirely hers. I had Fiona serve the following day at our house while her mother, Brenda, was over-comforting her about the embarrassing lunch. I stayed locked in my office. I heard the doorbell, then Fiona's confused voice, followed by a shriek. My door was pounded on. Liam, you bastard. You're divorcing me. I opened the door. She and Brenda stood there, their faces flushed. I am. According to your philosophy, what's yours is mine. I've decided I want mine back. You can't do this. You'll be ruined. Fiona gets half of everything. This house, your retirement, everything. Brenda, this is between my wife and me. Please leave. She's not leaving. You can't just throw me out. This is my house. Actually, it's my house bought before the marriage. But you're right, I can't throw you out. Not yet. So, I'll be staying in the guest room, and you can stay wherever you want. But your financial situation has changed. You cut me off. That's financial abuse. A judge will destroy you for this. I haven't cut you off. I've set boundaries. You're welcome to get a job to pay for your $18,000 chairs. The chairs. Oh, this is the best part. The chairs were scheduled for delivery last Friday. A massive truck pulled up with 2 guys in white gloves. Fiona was practically buzzing with excitement. I greeted the delivery men at the porch. Hi guys. What's this for? Delivery for Fiona. 2 Vespucci lounge chairs. All right. I'm afraid there's been a mistake. We're refusing the delivery. What? No, Liam. Stop it. They're mine, I said to the delivery guy. As I mentioned, we're refusing. The purchase wasn't authorized by the primary cardholder. You can't do this. I bought them. Let them in. Fiona, the charge is being disputed. I'm not accepting $18,000 of furniture I didn't order. Take it back, fellas. My apologies for the trouble. The delivery guys, who don't get paid enough to deal with this, looked at Fiona, who was now crying, then at me, stone-faced, and said, "Yes, sir." They loaded the chairs back onto the truck. Fiona lost it. She began screaming, not just yelling, but high-pitched horror movie screaming. "You will pay for this. Those were my chairs. Mine." This is when the dirty tricks began. The first was the car. Realizing she had no money, Fiona must have recalled that the Lexus was in my name. I received a credit alert on my phone, a hard inquiry from a Mercedes-Benz dealership. The little genius had tried to trade in my Lexus for a new Mercedes. She was trying to use my name and credit to get a new car before the divorce filing froze everything. Of course, she didn't know I'd already filed. The dealership checked my credit, saw the Lexus was leased, and probably told her she couldn't trade in a vehicle she didn't own. Miss Thorne was thrilled. "This is attempted fraud, Liam." "Oh, this is delightful." She quickly filed a temporary financial restraining order, which the judge granted. Neither of us could open new lines of credit or make purchases over $500 without mutual consent. Fiona was now completely trapped. She's still in the house. The atmosphere is toxic. She and Brenda are constantly in the kitchen whispering. Brenda confronted me in the hallway yesterday. "You're a cruel, cruel man, Liam. Fiona is a delicate woman. She's not built for this kind of stress. She's 33, Brenda. She's built for finding a job. You've ruined her. You've trapped her. I didn't do anything. She spent $18,000. She tried to steal my car. Every obstacle she's facing, she created herself. Fiona isn't even talking to me. She just glares. She's trying to use the household debit card for everything, Postmates, Ubers, coffee, and it's just decline, decline, decline. She's exhausted the $500 I left her. She's going to have to ask me for money. I'm waiting for it. This is so much worse than I anticipated. And so much more satisfying. Update 2. It's over. It's finally over. The last 4 months have been a masterclass in entitlement. The house became unbearable. Fiona and Brenda decided that if they couldn't be comfortable, I couldn't be either. They started cooking elaborate, foul-smelling meals, fish, curry, durian, and left the pots out. They blasted terrible music at 3 a.m. It was petty, childish warfare. I bought noise-canceling headphones, set up a mini fridge and microwave in my locked office, and forwarded every complaint to Miss Thorne. The final straw was when the victim play began. I knew it was coming. I got home from work one day to find 2 police officers at my door. Fiona was on the porch, crying real tears. "He's locked me in. He's trying to starve me. He's taken all my money. He's threatening me. I'm scared for my life." The first officer, looking at me with his hand on his belt, was clearly skeptical. "Sir, what's going on here? Your wife says you're threatening her." "Officers, I assure you, I'm not threatening my wife. We're in the midst of a very contentious divorce." The second officer chimed in. "She says you've locked her out of the house and stolen her money." "No, sir. She's standing right here." "So, she's not locked out. I've locked my personal office and the guest room where I sleep to de-escalate the situation. She has full access to the master bedroom, kitchen, and 90% of the house." I pulled out my phone. "This is my wife. Here's a copy of the divorce petition I filed after she charged $20,050 to my personal credit card, including an $18,000 purchase I explicitly forbade. This is the temporary financial restraining order I filed after she also attempted to fraudulently trade in my leased car for a new Mercedes. She is not out of money. She's upset that she no longer has access to my funds for luxury items. This is a civil matter, and I believe she is misusing your time." "He's lying. He's the criminal. He's abusive." The first officer glanced at his partner, then at Fiona, then at me in my wrinkled work khakis, holding a laptop bag. The abuser narrative just didn't hold up. "Ma'am, this is a civil dispute. You need to consult your lawyer. We can't arrest him for locking his office." They left. Fiona's face when she realized they weren't going to rescue her was heartbreaking. I simply went inside and locked my office door. The mediation was the finale. We gathered in a sterile conference room. Me, Miss Thorne, Fiona, and her lawyer, a cheap, aggressive guy clearly funded by Brenda. Fiona's lawyer stated, My client demands the house, 50% of Mr. S 401k, and $10,000 a month in permanent alimony. She also insists he absorbs all marital debts as he was the sole provider. The marital debt was the $20,050. Miss Thorne just smiled, not even glancing at him. To the mediator, we reject that ridiculous offer. Here's our proposal. We will sell the house, which is Mr. S' separate property, but we agree to split the increase in value since the marriage 50/50ths. We will divide the 401k value accrued during the marriage 50/50. Mr. will keep his car. Miss Fiona will take over the lease on the Lexus or surrender it. And now let's discuss the debt. The debt is his. It's his card. The debt is a dissipation of marital assets. She spent $18,000 on the same day her husband forbade the purchase. We have text messages to prove it. She presented them. She then attempted wire fraud by trading in a car that wasn't hers. We have the credit report to confirm that. She showed it. She also filed a false police report for abuse. We have the officer's card. She produced that too. My client is willing to forego pursuing criminal charges for the attempted fraud and not sue for defamation regarding the police report. In exchange, the $20,050 debt will be assigned to Miss in the divorce settlement. I can't pay that. I have no money. Then it's simple. Mr. will pay the debt to AMX, and the full amount of $20,050 will be deducted from your share of the asset division before a check is issued. Fiona's lawyer was flustered. He knew he was defeated. This was the debt transfer process. It wasn't magic, it was just accounting. It was done. The house was sold. After calculating the equity, Fiona's 50% share amounted to about $65,000. From that, we deducted the $20,050 she owed me. Then her lawyer's fees were deducted. Finally, the leasing company for the Lexus, which she'd surrendered, sent a bill for $2,800 in damage and mileage overages, which was also deducted. The best part, the chair company, Milano Mano Antiques, has a 30% restocking fee for refused deliveries. They sued her in small claims court and won a default judgment, another $5,400. In the end, Fiona walked away with a check for $11,300 from a 5-year marriage where she believed she was set for life. I received a call from Brenda, of course, a long, screaming voicemail about how I was a monster, how I'd stolen her daughter's future, and how I'd left her with nothing. The court granted Fiona rehabilitative alimony, $1,500 a month for 2 years, just enough for her to secure a tiny apartment and a real job. Her gravy train had come to an end. I'm still in my now-sold house, packing up. The silence is incredible. I lost a significant amount of money and 5 years of my life, but I regained my freedom. A few days ago, I was at the bank signing the final paperwork for the house sale. As I was leaving, I spotted Fiona. She was with Brenda at a small desk, speaking to a bank employee. Fiona held a brochure for a secured credit card, attempting to rebuild her credit, which I'm sure is in ruins. She glanced up and saw me. I didn't sneer or smile. I simply looked at her. She appeared average, just a regular person in a cheap-looking blazer, stressed about her finances. She looked away first. I walked out into the sunlight. I'm free.